Throughout history, man has tended to view the world in which he lives in many different ways. These worldviews have the potential to change how man lives as an individual and in society. One of the most radical shifts in the general worldview of man in the West was the emergence of the idea that all men are created equal and should have the same representation and opportunities. Playing a key role in this shift was the Enlightenment, itself influenced by the scientific revolution. This idea of equality is evident in the revolutions and economic changes following the Enlightenment. The scientific revolution greatly emphasized the use of reason to understand the universe. It was during this time that the scientific method was developed on the basis of observation and analysis. Once the Enlightenment came onto the scene, many began to view reason not only as a means to understanding nature, but society as well. Quote, reason was a scientific method, and it meant an appeal to facts and experience. A spirit of rational criticism was to be applied to everything, including religion and politics. The philosophies aggressively pursued a secular view of life, since their focus was not on an afterlife, but on this world and how it could be improved and enjoyed. This movement toward the secular and man's capability to reason is further demonstrated in the material culture, a style that shaped and reflected the movement away from religion as the mode of improving society and emphasizes the shift towards reason. This is evident in the work of Balthasar Neumann, who created similar masterpieces for cathedrals and palaces alike. Through this synthesis of the secular and the sacred, man's assertion that society could be benefited by reason alone was realized. It was through this emphasis of reason that people began to realize that every man has this ability, and therefore all men are equal according to the laws found in nature. When people understood this natural equality, they began to resist oppressive governments. One example is the Russian Revolution. In the Workers' Petition of 1905, the Russian people expressed their discontent with the inequality of their government. Let everyone, whoever they are, elect their representatives. Let everyone be free and equal in his voting rights. This revolution demonstrates what Marx described in his Communist Manifesto. For all of history, he argued, is the history of class struggles. In a word, oppressor and oppressed. A struggle that could end in the common ruin of the contending classes. Russia's revolution ended up radically changing the structure of the government until a dictator, Vladimir Lenin, arose, causing the common ruin of all efforts of equality. In this revolution, the Enlightenment ideal of equality had unfortunate consequences. It could be argued that one such area in which equality was successfully applied to society is economics. It is only through experiencing the oppressive nature of former economies that capitalism emerged as a solution that gave all citizens equal opportunity to gain wealth. As economist Jeffrey Sachs explains, the Western European capitalist societies were distinguished by four features. They were the first based on private property relations in labor, capital, land, and ideas, that had notions of citizenship and the rule of law, the first to abandon formal structures of hierarchy based on birthright, and were increasingly secularized and grounded in a modern scientific outlook. Overthrowing the structures of the past, capitalism truly embraced the Enlightenment idea of equality. Through the following centuries, the Enlightenment, with its base of reason, influenced governments and economies. Today, as we study history, it is vital that we take into consideration the ideas that have influenced the events of history and observe that no historical event stands alone, but is interwoven with the ideas that have gone before.